Hey guys, it's Anita Dwyer and we are getting ready for a 55-minute power vinyasa class this morning. So grab your water. If you use a block or you don't have a block and you have books, grab those, grab your mats, put on your favorite playlist, and we'll get ready. So we're going to start on our mats. Go ahead and lay down flat. And take a couple breaths. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, side out. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale, side out. Now take that same inhale. Seal the lips and exhale. Again, inhale through the nose. Open up the mouth, side out. This is your Ujjayi breath. It's your powerful ocean sounding breath that we will use during this power vinyasa class. It's an ocean sounding breath. From here, lift the arms overhead, point the toes, take a nice big stretch like you're just waking up in the morning. Then pull the knees into the chest, wrap the arms around, and then exhale. Reach it out. One more time, inhale, pull the knees into the chest. Exhale, side up. From here, we're going to pull the knees into the chest, wrap the arms around the front of the knees. Go ahead and start to rock and roll yourself up. Using a little momentum, maybe 2 to 3 rolls. Coming into this wide leg forward fold, so go ahead and extend the feet out, keep the hamstrings, the knees slightly bent, feet are flexed. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, bring the arms down in front, surrender. Might be a little tight this morning if we're just waking up, so again, be gentle with your hamstrings, soft bend in the knees. Inhale, lift the arms overhead. Exhale, surrender down in front. One more breath. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, surrender. From here, we're going to make our way into our tabletop position. So coming onto your hands and your knees, hands directly underneath the shoulders. Pull the belly in, the core is nice and tight, the back is nice and flat. Moving into this cat and cow, so dropping the belly, taking the gaze up. Exhaling, using your Ujjayi breath, rounding through the back. Finding your cat. Dropping the belly for your cow. Again, syncing the movement to the breath. 3 more rounds, cat and cow, warming up the spine. And 2 more times. From here, return to that neutral spine. Bring the right hand underneath the gaze. Inhale, lift the left fingertips towards the ceiling. Drop the left arm underneath the right. Coming down onto that left shoulder. Start to walk the right fingertips out in front. Coming into thread the needle to kind of open up the shoulders, warming up the joints here in the shoulders. And then bringing the arm back behind The lower back, if you so choose, reaching for that left inner hip, opening up that right shoulder a little bit more. And then return the right fingertips out in front. Extend the left fingertips up towards the ceiling once more, dropping the left hand down to the mat. This time bringing that left hand midline. Inhale, reach the right fingertips high. Exhale, start to walk the right arm underneath the left, walking the left fingertips out in front, or maybe you choose to wrap that left hand along the lower back, reaching for that right inner hip. One more breath. Inhale, extend the left hand back out in front, reach the right fingertips up towards the ceiling, drop the right hand. Maybe you just start to wag the dog here, moving the hips side to side. Preparing for our first downward facing dog. So coming up onto your toes, pressing into the hands, remembering not to grip too firmly, just a gentle press. Start to lift the knees off the mat. Start to send the hips up as you start to walk your dog, coming into this inverted V. So start to move from the toes to the heels, spread the shoulder blades wide, hollow out the armpits, the heads hang heavy. And from your downward facing dog, we're going to walk ourselves to the top of the mat. Inhaling, finding your half lifts. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, slowly stacking the vertebrae of the spine as you come all the way up, coming up to your mountain pose. Root down through the four corners of the feet. Inhale, lift the arms overhead. Catch that left wrist. Root down through the feet and start to tilt over to the right. Opening up the left side of the body. Inhale, come through the center. Catch the right wrist. Extend the right palm to the ceiling as you fold over to the left. Come through the center. Exhale, airplane arms. Bringing the hands down to the mat. Inhale, finding your half lift. Exhale, bring the hands down to the mat. Coming into your plank pose. So your plank pose, nice flat back, pull the belly in. Coming into our vinyasa, which we will be doing multiple times throughout the practice. This is your power flow, your vinyasa flow. Pull the elbows in. Exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale, pressing into the hands, lifting the legs off the mat, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Reset, Ujjayi breath here. Walk, step, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, finding your half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, bringing the arms all the way over the head. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Catch the left wrist as we start to fold over towards the right. Rooting down through both feet. Inhale, come through the center. Left hand grabs right wrist. Reaching the right palm up as we tilt over to the left. Inhale, come back through the center. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, come back into your plank pose. You can always drop the knees if you need to. Shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here, using your Ujjayi breath. And then walk, step, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, finding your half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, swan dive, reaching the arms all the way overhead. Exhale, hands to come to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Catch the left wrist, root down through the feet, and fold over to your right. Inhale, come through the center. Catch the right wrist, right palm towards the ceiling, and tilt over to the left, finding all that length on the right side of the body. Inhale, come through the center, drop the arms, swan dive forward. Inhale, find your half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back into your plank. Again, you can always drop the knees, shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Ujjayi breath here. Reset, 3 breaths. Step, top float to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Maybe this time finding a baby back bend here. One more time. Inhale, catch the right wrist. And start to fold over towards the right. Opening up the heart. Come through the center, catch the left wrist, folding over to the left. Back through the center, swan dive forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, come back into your plank. You can always skip the vinyasa and come to downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. And then step, float to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bringing the arms all the way over the head. Exhale, maybe finding a small back bend, pull the belly in. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Moving through our second sequence vinyasa flow. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, finding your half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Step back into your downward facing dog. Lift the right leg high. Step the right hand in between the knees. Plant that left hand and start to reach the right fingertips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring that right hand down to frame that left foot. We're going to come into a yogi stroll. So we're going to start to walk the hands through the center, bringing them towards the back of the mat now, framing that left foot. Right hand's going to come inside that left foot as we extend the left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, frame that left foot here. Send that left foot back to meet the right, downward facing dog. Shift forward into your plank. Exhale, vinyasa. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Stepping that right foot in between the hands. Stepping the right foot in between the hands here. Left hand frames that right foot. Start to send the right fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then bring that right hand down to frame that right foot. Listen carefully. Take your yogi stroll back towards the front of the mat. Plant that right hand inside the left foot. Send the left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Frame that left foot. Send the left foot back to meet the right. Downward facing dog. Shift forward into your plank. Pull the elbows in. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Resets. From here, walk, step, float to the top of your mat. Inhale, hands come to your shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sending the arms all the way over the head. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Adding on a little bit to this flow, we're going to sit back into our chair. So tuck the pelvis under, pull the belly in, knees stacked over the ankles. Bring the hands together. Bring the left elbow outside the right knee, binding your prayer twist. Inhale, come through the center. Exhale, bring the right elbow inside that left knee. Inhale, come through the center. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, hands come to shins. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back into your downward facing dog. Step that right foot in between the hands. Left hand comes inside the right foot. Send the right fingertips up. Lower the hips, sink the hips. Exhale, frame that right foot. And find that yogi stroll coming towards the back of our mat now. Planting the right hand inside the left foot, sitting the left hand up towards the ceiling. Framing that left foot, send that left foot back, downward facing dog. Staying here, shift forward into your plank. Finding your vinyasa, upward facing dog. Reset here, Ujjayi breath, 3 breaths. Lifting the left foot in between the hands. Step the left foot in between the hands. Right hand comes inside that foot. Send the left fingertips high. Exhale, frame that left foot. Finding your yogi stroll, turning back towards the front of the mat here now. Left hand comes inside that right foot. Right fingertips rise. Frame that right foot. Send that left foot up to meet the right. Coming into your chair pose. Again, tuck the pelvis under, pull the belly button in. Prayer hands, left elbow comes outside that right knee, stacking the palms together, or you could fly the arms. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Inhale, come through the center. Right elbow outside the left knee. Again, you can fly the arms or keep the palms together. One more breath. Inhale, reach the arms back out in front. Bring yourself all the way up, baby back bend if you need, if you like. Exhale, hands to heart center. Reset here. Preparing for that flow one more time. Inhale, sit down into your chair. Exhale, prayer hands. Left elbow comes outside the right knee. Stay here, fly the arms, yogi's choice. Inhale through the center. Exhale, right elbow outside the left knee. Fly the arms. Inhale, table. Exhale, step back into your downward facing dog. Right leg rises, steps into in between the hands. Left hand inside that right foot, dragonfly, extending the right hand up towards the ceiling. Frame that right foot. Take that yogi stroll, turning towards the back of the mat now. Adding on here, so we're going to frame or bring that right hand inside the left foot. Extend the left fingertips high. Bring the left hand down, coming all the way back up. Coming into your crescent pose. Bring the right hand behind the lower back. Inhale, reaching the left hand, fingertips up towards the ceiling, strong through the legs. And then frame the left foot. Take that yogi stroll, coming all the way back towards the front. This time, right foot extended towards the front of the mat. Inhale, lifting the arms overhead, crescent warrior. This time, the left arm comes behind the back, reaching the right fingertips over. Exhale, frame that right foot. Send the right foot back into downward facing dog. Shift forward into your vinyasa. Skip it, stay in downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, 3 breaths, reset. Right leg rises, step the right foot in between the hands. Left foot meets the right. Inhale, find your half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach the arms all the way over the head. Exhale, sit low in your chair. Hands come together, coming into your prayer twist. Left elbow outside that right knee. Fly the arms if you like. Inhale, come through the center. Exhale, right elbow outside the left knee. Inhale for your chair. Exhale, coming all the way up, finding your baby back bend. Swan dive forward. Step back into your downward dog. Bringing that right foot in between the hands. Left hand inside that right foot. Extend the right fingertips high, dragonfly. Take your yogi stroll towards the back of your mat. Right hand inside that left foot. Extend the left hand up, dragonfly on this side. Inhale, coming up into your crescent. Dropping the right arm back behind, reaching the left fingertips over. Exhale, find your yogi stroll back to the front, coming into that crescent warrior. Reaching the arms overhead. This time taking that right arm, left arm behind you, reaching the right fingertips over. Exhale, frame that right foot. Find your vinyasa. Feel free to stay in downward facing dog. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Reset, 3 Ujjayi breaths. Your next breath, step, jump, float. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sit back into your chair. Exhale, straighten the legs, finding your baby back bend. Inhale, hands to heart center. Reset here, 3 Ujjayi breaths. Starting to be very warm. Preparing for our 3rd vinyasa flow sequence. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, hands to your shins. Exhale, step back into your downward facing dog. Right leg rises. Round the back, pull the right knee in towards the opposite elbow. Tap the right elbow, send the right leg back, and then step that right foot in between the hands. Dragonfly, left hand comes inside that right foot. Send the right fingertips up, lower, dropping the hips low. Exhale, take that yogi stroll, coming towards the back of our mat. Bringing the right hand inside the left foot, extend the left fingertips high, lower the hips. Inhale, coming through your crescent warrior. Dropping the right arm behind the back, left fingertips over towards the right side. And then we're going to open up to warrior 2 here. Bending through that left knee. Straighten that front leg. Catch the left wrist. Finding the stretch on the left side of your body. And then interlacing the hands back behind you. Open up the heart. Exhale inside that left knee. Humble warrior. Inhale, coming back to warrior 2. Framing that left foot. And then walk yourself towards the front of the mat. Inhale, start to rise up, crescent warrior. Dropping the left arm behind you now, reaching the right fingertips over. Opening up to warrior 2 here. And then straightening that front leg, catching the left wrist. Dropping the arms behind you, interlacing the hands. Exhale, humble warrior. Inhale, come back to warrior two. Framing that right foot, send the right leg back. Shift forward into your plank. Find your vinyasa. Feel free to hang out in downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Left leg rises. Left knee is going to come in. Right. Left knee rises. Left knee outside the right elbow. Tap the left elbow. Send the left leg back. Step that left foot in between the hands. Dragonfly. Plant the right hand inside the left foot. Extend the left fingertips high. Framing that left foot. Take that yogi stroll all the way to the back of the mat. Left hand inside that right foot. Extend the right fingertips high. Inhale, start to come up into your crescent warrior. Right arm comes behind you, reaching the left fingertips over. And then open up to warrior two. Straighten the leg, right hand grabs left wrist, extending through the right side body. And then bringing the hands behind you, interlacing the hands. Exhale, humble warrior. Inhale, rise, warrior two. Framing that right foot, send the right foot back, downward facing dog, or shift forward into your vinyasa. Three breaths, Ujjayi breath. Extend the left leg high, step the left foot in between the hands. Dragonfly twist, right hand inside the left foot. Extend the left fingertips high. Take that yogi stroll towards the front of your mat. Left hand inside the right foot, right fingertips rise. Inhale, start to rise up into your crescent warrior. Left hand comes behind you, reaching the right fingertips over towards the left. Open up to warrior two. Straighten that front leg, catch the left wrist, extend through the right side body. And then bring the arms behind you, humble warrior. Frame that right foot, send the right foot back to meet the left, stay in downward dog, float through your vinyasa. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Three breaths, and then walk, step, hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, finding your half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bringing the arms all the way overhead, finding your baby back bend. Exhale, hands to heart center. Preparing to add on to our last vinyasa flow sequence before coming into standing strength. So inhale, arms reach overhead, maybe find a baby back bend, swan dive forward. Inhale, finding your half lift. Exhale, step back into your downward facing dog. Right leg rises. Right knee is going to tap the left elbow, then the right elbow. Send it back, three-legged dog. And then step that right foot in between the hands, finding your dragonfly twist. Frame that right foot. Start to make your way through your yogi stroll towards the back of your mat. Right hand comes inside the left foot. Left fingertips rise. Dragonfly twist. Inhale. Start to reach up, coming into your crescent warrior. Right hand comes behind you. Left fingertips reach over to the right. Extend, open up, warrior two. Straighten that front leg, catch the left wrist. Bringing the hands behind you, interlacing the hands, coming inside that left knee. humble warrior. Inhale, coming back to your warrior two. Start to bring that front leg straight as you start to reach the right foot up towards the left. Shifting that right hip down, pressing into the left foot, lifting that leg, coming into warrior three. Hands can come to heart, hands can fly behind. Shiva squat, start to bend the left knee, bringing the right knee behind the left. Two more, Shiva squat. You got it. And then coming into floating half moon, start to send the left fingertips. This is a good place for a block. Left fingertips to the mat, right hip stacks on top of the left, flexing that right foot. You can even test your core. Start to bring the left fingertips off the mat. And then make your way back to warrior two. Frame that left foot, send it back to downward facing dog. Float through your vinyasa. Downward dog reset. From here, step that left foot in between the hands. Right hand comes inside the left foot, finding your dragonfly twist. Start to make your yogi stroll back towards the top of your mat. Left hand inside the right foot, extend the right fingertips. Dragonfly twist. Inhale, start to come back into your crescent warrior. Left hand behind the back, right fingertips reach over to the left. And then open up to warrior two. Strong warrior twos. Inhale, straighten that front leg. Right hand grabs the left wrist, extending through the right side body. Hands come behind, interlacing the hands, bringing the body inside that right knee, humble warrior. Inhale, come back to warrior two. Straighten that front leg. Start to send the left foot up towards the right. Square the hips off towards the mat. Press into the right foot. Start to send the left leg up. Hands can come to heart center. Hands can fly behind. Finding your warrior three. If you fall, just come back up. Keep trying. Shiva squat here. Start to bend the right knee, bringing the left knee behind. Inhale, rise. Two more times. Inhale. And then from here, finding floating half moon. I'm going to show you with the block. If you have a block or a book, you can set it right underneath your gaze, using the block to shorten the distance between you and the floor. Again, if you want to challenge your core, you can start to float the right fingertips off the mat. Exhale, come back to warrior two. Frame that right foot, send the right leg back to meet the left. Downward dog, stay in downward dog, shift forward into your vinyasa. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Three breaths here. And then right leg rises. Step that right foot in between the hands. Left foot comes inside the right foot. Extend the right fingertips up towards the ceiling. Dragonfly twist. Exhale. Set that right hand down. Drop the left knee. Start to straighten that right leg, coming into your half splits. If you work with full splits and you want to go ahead and try that, feel free. And then rebend that right knee. Pop up off that left knee. Make your yogi stroll towards the back of your mat. Right hand's going to come inside the left foot. Extend the left fingertips high. Dragonfly twist. And then drop the right knee, straighten that left leg, folding into your half splits. Again, if you practice full splits and you want to work with that here, any version, feel free. And then rebend that left knee, pop up on to your right toes, shift forward back to the front of your mat. Step back into your downward facing dog, flow through a vinyasa, take whatever you need and leave the rest. We'll all meet in child's pose. So we're going to drop the knees. They can be wide or together. Shift the hips back, give your shoulders a break by reaching towards your heels for tortoise pose. Continue that beautiful Ujjayi breathing. One more breath. And then walk your hands out, back into table, press back, downward facing dog. From here, you're going to walk to the center of your mat, and then we're going to come into this goddess squat, wide-legged squat. So your knees are still stacked over the ankles. Tuck the pelvis under, belly button pulled in, so the spine is nice and long here. Bring your arms up to your shoulders, palms face towards me. Building strength here now that we've created all this energy, created all this warmth. You might play here by starting to press into the toes, lifting the heels. Notice the inner thighs on fire. You might even try to build more strength by coming up onto both toes, both feet, lifting the heels. You got this. Feeling the fire in the inner thighs, building strength. Yoga is strength, flexibility, mental health. It's all of these things combined. You've got this for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then release the heels down towards the mat. Turn the inside of the feet towards one another. Exhale, start to come forward towards your mat. From here, you might bring your hands behind your ankles. This is a good time for an inversion. If you practice forearm stand or headstand, handstand, any of those, and you're comfortable and know those poses, feel free to do that. You might turn the hands towards the back, palms towards the front, finding this nice, long, deep hamstring stretch. One more breath. And then if you're in an inversion, go ahead and come on up. Do what you need to do to wring that out. Coming back into that squat one more time. Again, tuck the pelvis so you don't want your butt hanging out. You want it pulled in nice and tight. Again, knees tracking the ankles, tracking the toes. Lift up through the spine. Pull the belly in. From here, start to practice lifting the heels or maybe just lifting both heels off the mats. Let your arms be strong. Practice your Ujjayi breathing here. Find something in front of you that's not moving, that you can focus on. You've got this. Building strength. If your inner thighs aren't burning, you're not working hard enough. For 5, 4, 3, 2. Drop the heels down. Turn the feet towards one another. This time interlace the hands behind you. Exhale, dive forward. Start to send the hands towards the ceiling. If this doesn't feel good, you can drop the hands down to the mat. And then release the hands. Go ahead and come all the way up. Turn towards the front of your mat, coming into Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, reach the arms overhead, find a baby back bend. Exhale, swan dive forward. Plant the hands, shift back into your downward dog. Shift forward into your plank. So if you need to drop the knees here, it's okay. Shoulders stacked over the wrists, pull the belly in. Gaze is directly in front of you, down on your mats. You've got this. Strong planks here, pull the belly in. All that heat we've built, putting into work, into strength right now. Use your Ujjayi breath. Focus on something in front of you that's not moving. And then we're going to drop down onto our forearms. Keep breathing. Don't keep that butt up, so lower the hips. Lots of shoulder stuff going on now. Five, 4, 3, 2. Start to lift the hips. Start to walk the feet up towards the elbow. Coming into dolphin pose here. So this is a lot of work in the shoulders. Again, if you want to practice with an inversion here, feel free. Otherwise, keep walking the toes towards the elbows. A lot of shoulder work here for 5, 4, 3, 2. Lower the knees. Press the hips back. Child's pose. You can keep the arms out in front or reach the hands back, grabbing for the back of the heels. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth. Exhale, side out. Doesn't that feel good? 2 more times. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, side out. 1 more breath, just like that. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, side out. From here, make your way back into tabletop. Come back into downward facing dog. Lift the left leg high. Stack the left hip over the right. Preparing for pigeon. If you know pigeon doesn't work for you, feel free to go into figure 4. Send that left knee towards the left wrist. Lay the left leg down. Lay the right leg down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, start to come forward onto your mat. Bringing the head to rest on a pillow made by your hands. If you have a lot of space between the hip and the mat, you can always use a block. You could use a couple of blankets, but just surrender here. These stretching postures meant to hold for a few moments. So see where you can release tension. I say in my class so many times that hips carry emotion, they carry tension. We're all probably sitting more than we're used to. So just let all that go. It's a beautiful place to work with that beautiful Ujjayi breathing. Where are you holding tension? Maybe in the jaw, maybe in the shoulders. 1 more breath. And then press into your hands. Gently, safely start to lift that left leg high. Maybe give it a little shake. You'll notice it feels very different from the right. Plant the left foot, send the right leg high, stacking the right hip over the left, opening up the hip, and then sending that right knee towards the right wrist. You might find that one side is tighter, and that's very normal. So square the hips off towards the mat. It's okay if that right foot is not parallel to the front of the mat. Make sure your left leg is securely planted on the mat, and then bring yourself down into your fold. Again, noticing if this side is a little tighter or maybe a little bit more flexible, a little bit more open. You can even walk the arms out in front if that feels better to you. And then go ahead and walk yourself up. Sending that right leg high, three-legged dog. Plant the right foot, give it a little shake out. And then from here, we're gonna come down onto our glutes, sending the legs out in front, flexing the feet. Plant the hands, tense your fingers, lift the hips, replant the hands, reach the arms overhead, exhale, come forward, reaching for the feet. Inhale, finding a lift, and then exhale, folding. You can always use a strap underneath the feet if you need. It's okay if you can't reach your toes. And then walk yourself back up. Go ahead and come down onto your back, pulling the knees into the chest, coming into a twist. So from here, you're going to tee your arms out by your shoulders. You can even field goal post the arms or cactus the arms if you like. Stack the right leg over the left and then drop the knees over to the right, taking your gaze over the left. Allow this twist to be passive. You want both shoulder blades on the mat. And then come through the center, windshield wiper the legs side to side. Bring the heels close to the glutes, arms down by your side, start to peel the hips off the mat, coming into your bridge pose. Staying here or interlacing the hands underneath the body, lifting the hips, shins parallel, thighs parallel, knees pulling towards one another. If you practice a full wheel and you want to go into that, feel free to do that. Please only do that if you're familiar with that posture and you can safely come in and out of that. And then lower the hips, tee the arms again as you stack the left knee over the right and taking your twist over towards the left. Again, keeping the shoulder blades connected to your mat. And then come through the center, bring the heels close to the glutes, Inhale, lift the hips for your bridge pose. Again, taking any version of bridge that you need. And then lower the hips down to the mat, taking the next moment to do any posture that might feel good to you. Maybe happy baby, reaching for the toes, pressing the lower back into the mat, swaying side to side, or maybe extending one leg to the side. And then preparing for your shavasana, your corpse pose, your resting pose. So lengthening the body out, allow the knees, the feet to roll away from one another, arms down by your side. Relax the shoulder, relax the jaw. 1 minute, that's all I need. And then start to relax into your corpse pose. Releasing control of structured breathing. And start to wiggle the toes and wiggle the fingers. Pulling the knees into the chest, rolling side to side. And then coming into the fetal posture, coming onto your side, maybe bringing an arm underneath the head, allowing yourself to rest. And then pressing yourself up into a seated pose as we begin. Closing the eyes, taking an inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Thank you for taking these moments to take a little time, a little self-care for yourself. The light in me sees, acknowledges, and honors your light. Namaste. Bye, everybody. See you next time.